Hello, my name is Rachel Rowlett. I am pursuing my Bachelor's of Science in Elementary Education and Special Education at GCU. The purpose of this video is for me to address my understanding of what dispositions I possess that I think will make myself a successful teacher, what dispositions I think I need to work on before I enter the classroom as a first-year teacher, and what qualities professional educators should display. So, the dispositions that I already possess, or I believe that I possess, that will make myself a successful teacher are that I'm compassionate, honest, I have curiosity, I am always, or I try to always be fair in everything that I do in or outside of the classroom. I can conduct myself in a professional manner. I have high expectations for my future and current students and myself and my coworkers. I have respect for the diversity of others, and I can advocate fairly well for myself and I believe that I can do it fairly well for whether they're my future students or they're the current students that I have in my classroom. And then all of those dispositions are super important to have because they're, to me, what can really make or break if you're going to be a successful educator or not. And then it can also make or break if the students that go through your classroom are successful or not. And really, it can really just be what makes or break everything about you being a teacher. If you can't be compassionate with a student that's having a hard day, then they're not going to trust you. They're not going to want to come to you whenever they're struggling. And they're not going to be fully present. And then if you can't be honest with your students, then how can you expect them to be honest with you? And to be curious, to me, in the classroom is to ask questions to your students. If they're telling you about something that really interests them, be curious about it. Ask them questions about it. And with fairness, it's just not saying that, sorry, don't know where I was going with that. But with fairness, it's, you can't, like, especially with special education, with fairness, you can't just say, oh, this is like, with my students, it's, they're very motivated on getting prizes. So with fairness, it's that everyone gets a prize if they do a set amount of things, but the prize isn't the same. So to me, that's what being fair is, making it fair across the board that everyone might earn a prize, but to them, the prize is what they are motivated for. And then, especially like with conducting yourself in a professional manner, if I come into work and my hair's all messy and I'm using foul language or my clothes are tattered or dirty or I'm not smelling the best, then my students are going to want to listen to me. My coworkers are going to think something's going on with me. And then also with high expectations for myself or for my coworkers or for my future or current students, it's just expecting the most out of them. But with that, it's setting the expectations that are possible for them. And then once they reach those, trying to stair step it up more and more. And then with the respect for the diversity of others, it's just having respect for everyone, that like one student might walk through my door, like this is Christmas time right now, but that student might not celebrate Christmas. So if once I can find out what holiday they do celebrate, I can make sure that I can accommodate that for them. And that kind of goes along with advocating for my students, that I know some religions, like at certain times of days, I believe they pray. I don't know what religion that is exactly, but I know that it's usually like at the same time about every day that they go into a time of prayer. So and they usually have like a prayer rug. So I'd make sure I could, like, with that, I would advocate for them to be able to have that prayer rug. I would advocate for them to be able to do the time of prayer every day. But yeah, and then to go on to the dispositions that I know I need to work on, because it's something that I struggle very much with already. Before I enter the classroom as a first year teacher, are really reflection and dedication. So with dedication, it's because I've already realized that I'm self-aware enough to know that I am not fully dedicated to this yet. And I think it's just because this is my first class. We're diving in pretty deep with figuring out what it takes to be successful in school, whether it's me going to school through GCU or it's being successful as a teacher in a school. I've struggled with that for honestly since I started here, but I think as time goes on, I will be able to dedicate myself more to this because I am already in a classroom and seeing those students and being able to help my teacher out with teaching them. It's what's given me the drive and the motivation to do this because I want to be the teacher. But then, like with reflection, I've struggled with that because whenever I receive feedback, I typically always tend to take it in a negative respect. And I always think that I'm getting in trouble or I'm getting my wrist slapped, you know? And so I always just shut down or I just get in a very negative headspace and I'm like, okay, well, this stinks. Like, what do I do now? Or I just don't want to do anything. I want to be left alone. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to reflect on it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to ask more questions to see what I can change to be better, to be more successful. So that is something that I know with both reflection and dedication, I need to work on a lot before I finish this degree and before I step into my classroom for that first year. And then to go to the last question, the qualities that professional educators should display are really all of the ones that I have went over in this video so far. And to list them all out again in a one big list is high expectations, respect for the diversity of others, fairness, professional conduct, reflection, curiosity, honesty, compassion, advocacy, and dedication. We want to be trusted by our fellow educators and our students. We want our students to be able to come to our classroom and be successful in the classroom and once they leave the classroom. So I feel like if we can always display these qualities, then we're on the right track, not only for ourselves, but them as well. But it's like I said earlier in the video that if we can be honest with ourselves and with our students, then I feel like they will be honest with us. And honestly, just all of it, to reiterate everything, that we need to be able to display all of those qualities. And then not only will we be successful, sorry, but I feel like our students will be just as much successful. And maybe other teachers will come to us and be like, hey, what is it that you're doing that is having such a good turnout with your students? And with that, that'll give you the gratification knowing that you're doing something right and that other teachers are coming to you to figure out what you're doing. And it'll make you feel good because they're wanting to do that too, because they're wanting to be successful as well. But that's everything. Thank you for watching.